channel, The Globe Spinner. So for this evening, I have a special thing that I'm going to do for you guys. Is I'm going to pay homage to Dominican Republic. And so I'm going to make what they call their national drink, Mama Juana. And so I haven't been back to Dominican Republic in many, many years. Matter of fact, me and my ex-wife first traveled to DR back in 2006. And since then, me as a traveler, not only married, but now also as a single guy, I've traveled all over the world, many countries in Latin America. And so I want to revisit DR pretty soon. And so I'm going to take a stab, maybe do some experimentation in my kitchen, what I call the lab. I want to see if I can recreate this drink, Mama Juana. And so let me share with you some of the ingredients that I have cooked up here in the kitchen. So if you're looking, now if you notice right here in my kitchen here, I have Brugal, Anejo, which is the typical rum that they use in making Mama Juana. Now, I've seen it made so many different ways. Some people use white rums. Some people use anejo rums. Some people use different companies. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But I think for this particular video, I'm going to use the traditional Brugal anejo. And I'm not really a big fan of Blanco or white rums. And so I'm going to stick with anejo. I'm going to do it for the first batch as well as the second batch. Now, the first batch is important to know that when you're making Mama Juana, you want to make sure that you have good ingredients. You want to make sure that you have everything you need. So here I have the Mama Juana ingredients here. I'm going to open this bag up and I'm going to share with you. And I had this shipped all the way from DR. Okay, so now I'm also going to add a special ingredient to it. Now, every Mama Juana is made differently. When you look at some of the people in DR, every family have their own ingredients, their own traditions on how they make Mama Juana. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Each family is different. But I've been watching videos after videos, looking at different recipe after this different recipe. So there's a couple ingredients that I'm gonna add to make my special batch of Mama Juana. So here I'm going to add, along with the honey, I'm gonna add some sun-dried raisins and I'm gonna add a cinnamon stick. And I'm gonna make sure I add these Mama Juana ingredients, which is a mix of, you know, bark, herbs, roots, anise, different spices in here. And you're gonna see me add that to the bottle. I'm gonna pour the Brugal rum outside of this bottle because I wanna use this bottle. And I'm gonna pour it into my decanter and save the rum here. And then I'm gonna have just a clear bottle that I can put the roots and the bark in here. Now I was gonna use this old whiskey bottle or this smaller bottle here, but I think I need something a little bigger. So I'm gonna stop the video here, pour out the ingredients so you guys can examine the type of ingredients I'm gonna put in the bottle, and then I'm gonna come back here. Okay, now we're back here. And so when I look at all of the ingredients that I have here, I want you guys to examine. I see the anise right here. You see the different types of pine and bark and wood, some leaves. I think they went to their garden and got just about everything here. But I'm just being funny. They got all their original spices for this thing. And I'm gonna add a cinnamon stick to this along with some raisins and of course some local Florida honey, me being a Florida boy. And then I'm gonna use this anejo Brugal. So I'm gonna pour this inside my decanter because I wanna save this here. So here we go. Gotta be very careful. Make sure I don't spill any. Gotta save it. Okay. Think I should just have about everything in here. Oh, I made it. I think I'm gonna make it. Yeah. Yeah. So let me go ahead and put this top on this decanter here. And so here you see the clear bottle, nothing's in it. So I'm gonna start adding my bark to it. And make sure also, guys, that you have wine. Now, I bought a cheap wine that I bought from the grocery store here, a red blended wine, medium body and sweet with aromas of ripe raspberry and juicy blackberries and a smooth finish. Now, this was a cheap bottle of wine I bought from the grocery store, but I also went to Total Wine and bought a nice bottle, a blended fire brand of spice red blend, and this has grapes with natural flavors added to it. Now, I was reading the back here, and I might use this on my second batch. So it says that this right here is a special holiday treat that is handcrafted according to the old world tradition. This special blend features a delicious combination, full body wine sweetened and spiced with apple, cinnamon, vanilla, oak, and citrus notes. And so I'm thinking about maybe possibly using this for the second batch, but for the first batch, you want to make sure you use a red wine. Now, I have, on top of my refrigerator, I have some red wine here, a Cabernet Sauvignon, and I don't want to pour this out. I think I might use this. Now, this is just a red dark wine, a Cabernet Sauvignon. I think instead of opening those two bottles, I may start with this wine here and pour that into this right here. And so for a little later. But right now, I need to fill up my ingredients here and start putting them in the bottle. So as you can see, let me start putting these ingredients in this bottle here. Make sure it all fits. And this is gonna take some time. So I'm gonna have to stop the video. I don't want to spend 10 minutes and you watch me put all these pieces here. But basically, I'm gonna put all these pieces inside here and maybe add a few raisins in the middle somewhere, as you can see. So I'm gonna stop the video and come back. Okay, my friends, we are back, and so I went ahead and filled the bottle up. I had a little bit of extra ingredients here. As you can see, we're using the Brugal bottle here. I had some extra ones, so I decided to use this little bottle here that I had to make an extra batch. And remember, we poured out the Brugal Anejo rum and put it into the decanter. And so the rest of the ingredients is that we have wine here. I may have to open up a fresh bottle of red wine. And then we have the honey. I'm gonna use the rest of this honey for the first batch, and then the second batch I'll get a new bottle. And so here we go. Let's go ahead and start pouring some rum inside. I'm gonna turn this sideways so you guys can see what's going on here. And as you can see, I have the funnel right there. So here we go. Let me try to do this without making any mess here. Now keep in mind, guys, the normal recipe is about 50, 40, and 10. 50% rum, 40% red wine, and then 10% honey. So here we go. Hopefully I could do this without making a mess here. I want to go ahead and pour this about half. To about the halfway mark. Okay, I think it's about the halfway mark. As you can see, it should be about the halfway mark. All right. And I'm going to do the same for the small bottle. But first, let me go ahead and pour the red wine in here. and then I'm gonna put honey in there. So you can see it's filled up with rum and red wine, and then I'm gonna put honey in it. And let's see. Looking good, looking pretty good. All right, let's see. Let me go ahead and see what I can do. Now let me take this out right here and put this inside there. And let's see what I can do here. Now this is gonna be interesting. Hopefully I don't make too much of a mess here. Holding the camera with one hand while also pouring the ingredients. This is, I mean, woo, some bad business here. Okay, good job, good job. All right, now let me go ahead and pour red wine in here as well. Okay, good job, good job. Now I need to go ahead and pour honey. Okay, so I have the local honey here, and I want to make sure that I pour this inside here. Be honest with you, I think I'm gonna run out of honey for this batch right here. I'm just gonna use the rest of the honey in this bottle here. Go ahead and pour all this honey in here. Now I may have to run out to the store, Walmart or Publix, and get another thing of honey. Okay, but basically, and now I'll probably add more honey to it, but basically, it's going to sit like this. Yeah, I'll go get a fresh thing of honey, but it's gonna sit like this for about 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, this first batch, you will not drink it. You're gonna pour it out, and then you're gonna use the same formula of 50% rum right here, and you're gonna use 40% red wine. Now remember, I still have the fresh bottle of red wine that I have not opened yet, but I'll use this for the second batch. And so I'm going to use that. I'm gonna refill it up for another week, and that second batch will be the batch after it sits for a week. It'll be ready to drink and to sample. But I'm running out of honey, so I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna stop the video, and then I'm gonna fill this up with a little bit of honey, and then I'm gonna fill this up with a little bit of honey, and that's gonna sit for 2 weeks. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop the video, and then I'm gonna come back after these 2 bottles have marinated and they seasoned the wood and the bark for 2 weeks, and then you guys will see the next phase of this recipe. Okay, YouTube family, we're back for round 2. So we've allowed the ingredients to maturate and soak in. So I want to show you some of the ingredients for part 2 of this film here. So doing the mama wana, right? You want to make sure that you have the proper ingredients, guys. So let me go and do a little review of the ingredients I'm going to use for part 2 of this video. So here, right here, as you can see, we have a strainer right here, a coffee strainer that I'm going to strain the wine with the mama wana in it. We also have the brugal. We have the brugal in the decanter. We have the miel, the honey, and this is the brugal bottle that we use. As you can see, the mama wana ingredients, it's inside there. And then this was the second small bottle I had left over. And then we have our red wine. Now typically people use a grape sweet wine, or they'll use red sweet wine. For this particular video, I'm going to use real sangria, which is from Spain. That's going to be the grape sweet wine that I'm going to use, and then mix all the ingredients together. So before I get started, one important thing that I need to do is I need to make sure that I strain this and make sure put the ingredients back inside of that. And so I'm going to strain it right here in this coffee strainer right here. So I'm going to stop the video right now and then start straining it. But let me show you what that's going to look like. So let me pop the top here, and I'm going to start straining it here. And the reason why I use this filter is because some of the things, like the wood chips, has to go back into the bottle. Now, I also want to make it clear that as this strains, and I'm going to put the ingredients back in the bottle, we are not to drink any of the juice or the wine left over. That's going to be poured out. So as you see it's straining, I'm going to make sure that the little bits and pieces go back into the bottle. And then remember, the recipe calls for 50% rum, 10% honey, and then 40% wine. So that's going to be the consistency of the second batch there. And then the second batch is going to last for a week, and then you'll be ready to pour it and start enjoying it. Okay, so now we started draining all of the little small bottle I have here. Now I have a new filter, as you can see, and it's time to start straining the Brugal bottle here. After I'm done straining the Brugal bottle and all the contents that's in here, I'm going to go ahead and pour that mixture out, and then I'm going to go ahead and start adding the fresh rum, the fresh honey, and then the fresh wine, and let everything marinate for, and mix together for another week, and then I'll sample it to find out how everything turned out, guys. So let's go ahead and start pouring this in here. As you can see, some of the contents are coming out. Okay. Everything's out. So as you can see the bottle here, you can see the wood chips there. And I'm gonna let this continue to strain, and then if it's any wood chips in here, I'm gonna go ahead and put that back into this bottle. Okay, and then we'll start back and I'll show you what the mixture looks like. Okay, so we do not have to wait to see all the contents drained out of this. So of course we're not going to use this. This is all going to be drained out and poured out, but there wasn't much content inside, so I'm going to go ahead and start the mixture. And so I have the Brugal that's in the decanter. I'm going to go ahead and pour 50%. And I'm gonna stop there, and I've already poured 50% here of the Brugal, so I'm all done with this. Now, usually I'll start with this, but I want to go ahead and make sure that I grab the honey. So let's go ahead and put the honey in. see it's coming down. Okay. Now, as that's settling down, 10% of honey. I'll make sure that I put the honey in here too. I'm gonna stop right there. Expand this out. Honey right now, so you can see how thick the layer of honey is here. This honey is making its way down. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with the sangria. Okay. So I think that we're good on honey on this. And I can put the rest as wine there. So let's go. Okay, that's good. Let me go over here so you can see from this side of the bottle. The honey here. Now we have the wine. I'm gonna stop there. So I fixed the rest of it up. And as you can see, ingredients are mixed pretty good here. Put this in the sink. Might even top this off with a little bit more honey. Okay. Now, go ahead and twist this top on. I'll tighten this up later. And then this right here, go ahead and put this top back on. So we're already done with the sangria. We're done with the rum and the honey. And so in about a week, I'm gonna come back and I wanna show you what the finished product is, but I wanna let you know that when you're mixing your ingredients, make sure that you have 50% rum, 10% honey, and 40% red wine. And you're gonna allow this stuff to mix for another week. And then if you need to shake it up and down so everything mixed, that's fine too. And I'm gonna have a little glass with some ice and check it out in about a week, okay? All right, guys, peace. Welcome back, friends, for the third video in this series. So as we revisit the Mama Wana drink that we created 3 weeks ago, we created this bottle here. What we did was add the ingredients. As you can see, I'm going to spin it around. You can see the wood chips, the bark. You can see the different spices, as well as the, let's see, we had cinnamon as well as anise. We added honey, the Brugal rum, and also the grape or red wine. And so as a third video, now we get a chance to sample this. Now, I sampled this a little bit last night in a shot glass. And so last night in a shot glass, I sampled it. It was definitely more potent and strong. But today I have some in a little glass with some ice. Now, this is like my second or third take, so hopefully I don't get drunk during this video. But actually, I really enjoyed it, guys. The ice, I wanted to sample it with ice because I knew that if I had any bloopers I had to record, then I wanted to make sure that it's a little bit watered down. But as I sample this and I smell the aroma of it, you initially get the whiff of honey You smell some of the spices. You smell the grape wine, the sangria, and you smell the cinnamon, the anise. You get a little bit of a licorice smell to it as well because those spices are blended together along with the wood. And even though this wasn't brewed in a barrel, it wasn't kept in a barrel, because of the wood chips and the bark, you get a little bit of the flavoring from that wood as well. And you don't really smell the rum, but the rum does bring a little heat, especially when you sample this without ice. It hits you initially, then it goes away. It's a very smooth drink here. Let me taste it. This is pretty good, and I really like the flavor of this. You get a little bit of the honey on top with some of the cinnamon, the spices, the anise. I definitely see why they call this the Dominican cough syrup. Now, of course, I don't advocate giving alcohol to minors or children, but on the island, culturally, the island of Hispaniola, they would use this during times whenever kids would get sick. They have indigestion or cold in their chest. They would give them, I think, a tablespoon or a shot of the mamajuana. And because of the medicinal properties, it's purported to have helped them um, have less days of illness. And so, guys, of course, I'm going to always refer you to go back to your doctor. Don't try this at home. This is definitely a beverage for adults, but it's not as strong. I can see both men and women enjoying this, and they say it's a natural aphrodisiac for both men and women. It's definitely a pleasurable drink. It's smooth. It's delicious. You taste the wine on it with a little honey. You taste the spices of the anise, like anise, nutmeg, cinnamon, grapes. Now, we use grapes in here as well, and I think you taste a little bit of that flavoring as well. I'm not sure if it's coming from the grapes or the red wine that we use as well. I want to talk a little bit about this second batch here. Now, I'm going to definitely continue. You can use this up for, I've heard for years. Sometimes people use it for 15 to 20 batches. Now, you can use whatever type of rum. I use dark Brugal rum, but I've noticed that people have used white rum, they've used vodka, and also whiskey as well. In which with whiskey, you can use white whiskey or you can use dark whiskey. And so if I ever run out of rum, I definitely would probably use whiskey with this as well. Um, it's like I said, it's a beautiful concoction. Um, it's very authentic when you have it in the DR or Dominican Republic, but they sell at local places like Total Wine. They sell a commercial version of Mama Juana as well. I actually enjoy this version that I created at home a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more authentic, a little bit more flavorful. You took part in the process of putting the ingredients in the bottle, and you let it maturate and saturate into the ingredients. And then what I used was a coffee filter to filter out the woods when I poured it into a jar to keep it. And so, guys, like I said, I want to encourage you guys to possibly do this journey on your own. When you go to the island, they sell bags of the ingredients in the wood that you can bring back with you. And so, but for me, I ordered on Amazon, and I'll put the link in the description. But I ordered from Amazon the wood chips. I went to a Total Wine and bought the Brugal rum. You can use any kind of rum you like. You could use the popular Puerto Rican rums, the Venezuelan rums, the Dominican rums. You could use Cuban rum, Colombian rum, Jamaican rum, and some people may prefer Jamaican rum. You know, I like some particular Venezuelan brands of rum. I think they do a good job with rums as well, and so especially Diplomatico. But for this video, I wanted to stay close to the traditions as possible, so I went with the Brugal Dark Anejo rum. And so, guys, I'm going to share this with family and friends and see how well they enjoy it and get some feedback. Guys, let me know in the comments
have you had this drink before? If you've had it, did you like it? What did you like or dislike about this drink? Do you try to create your own home lab and brew it at home? Let me know what you think, guys. Continue to support, to like and subscribe to this channel. I'll continue as I travel around the world, share the different libations and spirits that I partake on, and the drinks, the cultural and the drinks of the countries, also the fragrances and the travel lifestyle as well. So, guys, I also have a Cash App in the description as well. If you want to support the channel in any way or buy me a coffee, I appreciate that as well. But thanks for joining in. This is going to conclude our 3-part series of this video. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was a rewarding experience for me. And I remember in the past buying the Mama Juana and Total Wine. I didn't really care for that version, but I do like the homebrew. I think it's more flavorful. And I think if you take the time and create this at home, you will enjoy it a lot better as well, guys. But again, I enjoyed sharing this experience with you guys. And hopefully, we can continue to make videos like this. So thank you for all your support, guys. Peace out. We're going to see you on the next video, guys. Take care.